Hey friends, welcome to Load of Crock. In this episode of Load of Crock, we are going to be doing a breakfast in the crock pot. That is correct, breakfast. And depending on where you're from may dictate what you would call this breakfast. Some of you may call it an egg bake. Some of you may call it an egg casserole. And in one instance, in one state, it may be called an egg hot dish. That's right. But regardless of where you are or what you may call this, I figured out a way that we're going to make it work for everybody. So we're making what I'm going to lovingly refer to as an EBCHD. That's right, we're making an egg baked casserole hot dish. All right, my friends, so regardless of where you're from or what you may call this dish, it does not matter when it comes to how easy it is to make. There are only a handful of ingredients that are involved: milk and eggs, cheese, hash browns, and then whatever meat or veggies you may choose to be the meat, no pun intended, of the actual egg bake casserole hot dish. So a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you with regard to the ingredients. First is the cheese. So a long time ago when I was in college, a girlfriend of mine, every time we made egg bake, which yes, we made egg bake in college, she would insist that it had to be with Cracker Barrel's sharp cheddar cheese. And I don't know about you, but when I was in college, I didn't really have any money. And so the idea of spending $5 on a block of cheese and then wasting the time to actually shred it all up when, it just comes in a bag shredded was mind-boggling to me. But she was right, and I, to this day, only use Cracker Barrel's sharp cheddar cheese when I make my egg bake. So a quick thank you and shout out to my girlfriend Barrett, a wonderful tip that many, many years later, I am still using. Now you might be thinking, she seems a little obsessed with cheese. She must be from Wisconsin, but I am not. The other thing I wanted to share, the next thing, the main kind of meat part of it, I choose to use diced up ham, diced up mushrooms, and then a can of mild green chilies just to give it a little bit of kick. I mix all that up, and that's what I use as the main part of the dish. And now you might be thinking, oh, diced green chilies. She likes a little bit of kick in her food. Maybe she's from one of the states that's in the Southwest where they really pride themselves on their spicy food, but I am not. And then the other thing that I would recommend is when it comes to the milk. So the milk really is a big part that helps the bake casserole hot dish stand up in the crock pot, meaning it won't be runny. The thicker milk you get, the less runny it will be. So I would highly recommend at minimum using 2% milk. And if you're up for it, I would actually go with whole milk. And now you might be thinking, whole milk, like straight from the cow? Okay, she's gotta be from Iowa. So, watch me put this crock pot dish together, whether you call it a bake or a casserole or a hot dish, and then we'll come back and I'm gonna talk a little bit about how to make some of this easy dish even easier. In a bowl, combine your 2 cups of diced ham, your 8 ounces of sliced or diced mushrooms, and 1 to 2 cans of diced green chilies. Mix them all up and set this bowl aside. In a separate bowl, crack 12 eggs and add 1 cup of whole or 2% milk, followed by salt and pepper to taste. And then you'll whisk this all together until all of the eggs are nicely whisked into the milk. Set this bowl aside and then grab your crock pot, spraying the bottom and the sides. Layer in a layer of hash browns, covering the bottom, followed by half of your ham, green chili, and mushroom mix, putting the ham over as much of the hash browns as you can, followed by half of your shredded cheddar cheese. And then you will repeat, layering a second and final layer of hash browns, followed by the last of the ham, green chili, and mushroom mix. Again, making sure it coats as much of the hash browns as possible. And then you'll add the last of your shredded cheddar cheese. grab your egg and milk mixture and pour it over the top of the crock pot. All right, so I did mine on low for a little over 5 hours, which turned out great. So I would recommend anywhere between 5 and 5.5 hours on low. Then the other thing I did, which worked out nicely, was I turned the crock pot off then, and I just let the dish sit for 30 minutes. And I actually saw a big difference. There was a little bit of juice that was still hanging on in there. And after the 30 minutes, it all got soaked up into the egg mix. So would recommend that. The other thing is with the hash browns, I used frozen hash browns, and I let them thaw just enough that I could break them down to get them into the layers in the crock pot, but they were still frozen. So would also recommend not thawing out the hash browns all the way, rather keeping them as frozen as possible, but still with the ability to break them down for the layers in the crock pot. And then finally, something I thought of, but a little too late. This to me would be a really great dish to make on a Saturday night right before you go to bed, and then you wake up in the morning and you have this lovely egg baked casserole hot dish just waiting for you on Sunday morning. I mean, come on. That's like the best thing ever. Speaking of best thing ever, all of you that are subscribed to this Load of Crock channel, thank you so much for your interest and for being subscribed. We had breaking news over the weekend. Load of Crock reached 100 subscribers. That's right, 100. And I am super pumped and super grateful. So thank you, all of you that are subscribed and watching. It is so great to see the interest that people have. If you aren't subscribed, I would absolutely love for you to do so. Please just click on the red subscribe button. You can also click on the little bell that's on the page. That will sign you up for alerts, which will let you know every time a new video and recipe are posted. Now, before we show you this EBCHD, I just wanted to say, I think we have an opportunity for something kind of fun here. Based on all these different names, whether it's a bake or casserole or hot dish, I would love to hear from any of you on what it is that you would call this dish or do call this dish. So please feel free to leave in the comments section any either ideas of what this dish could be called or what it is that you, your family, friends actually call it. I'm just interested to know what others might refer to this dish as, given all these different names that we're using. So now, take a look at the final product of the EBC HD, our egg baked casserole hot dish.